What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Jose here at the First Round By Podcast, accompanied by my boy, Mr. Sauce.
Saw, dude. I actually didn't laugh this time. Well, I guess I kind of did.
I did.
Man, guys, I'm so excited. This is episode 13. Welcome to episode 13. Glad to have you guys with us. Man, you know what? Week 6. It's kind of crazy in football.
Dude, it was a good week for football.
It was a fantastic week for football.
Great, yep.
Although, the one thing that does kind of suck so far on paper, week 7 is not shaping up to be too exciting.
Yeah.
At least right now.
For now, and on paper.
On paper, yeah, that's for sure. And part of the reason why we say that is because, I've definitely been wrong a few times about that. So, yeah, it's they're making me look like an idiot, which isn't hard to do, I guess. So, without further ado, let's get started on this episode, man. I'm excited about this.
So, where are we starting at, Sauce?
Well, so one of the biggest storylines that we had been following on this podcast has been the Chiefs. The Chiefs, they just haven't looked like the juggernauts that we're used to seeing and everything. However, it looked like they rebounded against Washington this weekend.
Well, you know what? So I was kind of watching like the first half of the game, and they were looking kind of rusty at first. And I can't remember the score, but they were down, I'm pretty sure, to Washington going into halftime. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Yo, are they fixing to lose again to the Washington football team, or not again to the Washington football team, but lose
in
again
consecutive weeks?
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I mean, they're already, because they're still currently in last place, if I'm correct, in their division. So,
right.
And Patrick Mahomes, he hasn't been playing like Patrick Mahomes. I think I saw a stat on Facebook the other day where it was like he has like 15 interceptions through his last like 15 games or something.
Right.
Some weird stat, but because I think all of last year, I want to say he had like maybe 8 interceptions total or something, and he's already that mark this season or something close.
I know, and I feel like part of it has been mostly like, because didn't he have like a hurt hand or something like that?
I can't remember.
Oh, I think it might have been his knee or his I can't remember what the injury was, but he had an injury because he was playing hurt in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I mean, the Chiefs just, like, every single game we've been waiting for them to just all of a sudden do the Chiefs thing and just like pop off. And they, all the way up until this game, they hadn't been doing that.
But even then, because like for this game, they were still down for quite a bit. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, Patrick Mahomes, he had 2 interceptions this game again. So yeah, just something to look at. Oh, and something that whenever I was watching the game, they kept highlighting that freaking Tyreek Hill. He keeps having like freaking tip balls, so that turns into interceptions for Mahomes.
Right.
So he's got to watch out, or he's got to catch the freaking balls. You know what I mean?
100%. And I mean, I think actually that there was a drive too that mostly featured Tyreek Hill, and then he ended up catching the touchdown pass that I would almost say it kind of sparked their offense.
Right.
And stuff. And then, of course, they went on a tear, ended up winning 31-13, which was absolutely nuts. But are you ready to say that the Chiefs are back?
Not yet. I mean, so I was having like a conversation with my friends on Facebook, and I know you saw the post too.
Oh yeah.
And he was kind of just like saying, I think the Chiefs are done. So I'm not ready to rule out the Chiefs just yet. I mean, we're going into week 7 right now.
Right.
As long as you got Patrick Mahomes, you can't rule out the Chiefs.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think they're gonna definitely bounce back, and I'm not too sure if they'll take first place of their division, but I do feel like they have a good possibility of jumping into at least second place.
Right. And I think that my biggest concern for the Chiefs right now is their defense.
Oh, yeah.
Their defense is definitely not like contender caliber, I would say.
Correct.
At the moment. But, I mean, that could also change in an instant, because we all know how the NFL is.
Right. And, I mean, but the trade deadline is, I think, within like the first week of November or something like that. So if they want to pull off some moves, got to pull it soon, because we're running out of time here.
They are. And, they definitely have been struggling. But I think that I'm not ready to say that they are back yet. I need to see a little bit more consistency out of them, especially out of that defense. That defense needs to step it up a little bit. Because, I mean, honestly, the way that they treat Patrick Mahomes is that, like, I mean, he is basically Superman, but at the same time, you got to still help him in some way or fashion. So, but yeah, that game was it was pretty good. It was a good one for a rebound for the Chiefs. But moving forward, one of the craziest games, probably the biggest outcome that I was not expecting this weekend. The Ravens, they just blasted the Chargers.
Dude, I didn't watch the game. I think I watched like maybe the first quarter, and after that I didn't watch any of it. But yeah, I mean, I predicted the Ravens winning, but I thought it was going to be a way closer game than what it was, and I don't really know exactly what happened. I don't know if it was.
I want to say that part of the reason why, I mean, obviously, if you look, man, there was a bunch of old heads over there in Baltimore that were running really well and scoring a lot. So, of course, Lamar Jackson was running really well. Was that Devontae Freeman? Murray and Bell even had touchdowns in that game. So I think that the biggest thing,
even Freeman had a touchdown,
right? Which is nuts.
Yeah.
Like, but I think that if you look at it, so I'm looking at the time of possession. The Ravens had it 38 minutes to the Chargers 21 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So it was definitely, I feel like it was mostly a ball control kind of game. Because Lamar Jackson, he's still like, he still threw 2 picks.
He threw 2 picks, 1 TD, and only had 167 yards passing.
Right.
And on the ground, he had 8 carries for 51 yards. So Lamar Jackson, he didn't even have like a great game. He just had like a mediocre game, to say the least. And they still won 34-6. So
I know, which is
weird,
nuts.
right?
But I mean, that's kind of sometimes that's kind of how you gotta play certain teams. Like their defense played really well. They kept control of the ball. That ball control offense, that's what helps in the postseason too.
Right.
So I mean, they played a hell of a game. It was great. Now, do you think that bolstered Lamar Jackson's MVP hopes a lot?
This game?
Yeah.
I mean, definitely, because I mean, if they lost, it would have, in a way, did the opposite of bolstered it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, Lamar Jackson didn't have a game to bolster it. You know what I'm saying? But he did win. Does that make sense?
Yeah. See, I can agree with that because they got the dub and he played pretty well. He
played good enough to freaking take the win.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was also a good team effort.
It was a very good team effort because if you look at it just like stats wise, they don't really pop off the screen that much. So I still think that he's way up there. I would say that it kind of hurt Herbert, obviously, but I mean, it's also kind of hard to fault him whenever. I mean, he's still playing really well. Except for this game.
Yeah.
But now for MVP, because I know that a lot of people were talking about him as an early MVP candidate, I think it definitely hurt his chances a bit.
Just a little bit. I mean, it's just a game, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you're going to have games like this. And at least he lost to a good team. You know, he didn't go and lose to the Jets or whatever. So, sorry. No, but
don't make me laugh again.
No, you know what's funny? The Pats play the Jets this week, so they're probably, they might lose. But anyways. So Justin Herbert, you're gonna have a game like that, which is fine. But I wouldn't necessarily say it hurt his MVP. What do you call it?
Chances.
I mean, he's still in the running, but moving forward, we'll just have to see like where he ends up and stuff.
Right. So, moving forward off of that, the Cardinals and the Browns. That game did not go nearly as much as I thought it would. Like, I didn't think that it was going to go that way. But the Browns, man, they're kind of suffering the same kind of things that the Titans are suffering.
With the injuries.
Man.
Yeah, especially with the freaking Chubbs out, Kareem Hunt's out, Jarvis Landry's still out. Who else is out? Do you have anybody else that's out?
I saw somebody post the other day their entire injury report and everything. I'm like, how in the world are you guys going to even field a team right now?
No, but here's the deal. So this is where Baker Mayfield needs to kick in overdrive. Like, this is where we see if you're a contender or, you know, if you're QB1 status. Because, like I said, I don't have any hate against Baker Mayfield. Like, I like the guy, you know what I mean? And I've been following him since college. But you got both your star running backs out. You got Jarvis Landry out. He might be back this game. Hasn't been confirmed yet. You need to you know, step up and make those throws and command your team. Like this, Baker Mayfield, all eyes are on you. So you're 3-3. I think they might be like in second place in their division or something, or I'm not too sure. What?
Yeah, it's either. I think it is. Because I think it's second.
The Bengals are probably right in front of them, right?
Oh yeah.
The Bengals, them, and then Steelers, and then who else in that division?
Ravens.
The Ravens. Oh no, the Ravens are on top.
Yeah,
I apologize.
So that means that they're probably third place.
Yeah. So Baker, all eyes on you. You know, if you want to make it to the playoffs, this is your time to shine, my friend.
See, and here's where my issue is. Preseason, before the season even started, when we were talking top 5 quarterbacks and everything, I thought I saw a lot in Baker, and this is definitely a make or break year for him. So far, though, it's mostly been that rushing attack that's been carrying them. He hasn't made too many terrible plays, but he hasn't elevated the team like I thought he was going to. And I mean, he plays with a lot of guts. He plays with a lot of heart. You can tell that he wants to be out there and that he is a gamer and stuff, which is awesome. But at the same time, I think one of the scores that they had was just crazy freaking Hail Mary.
Oh yeah, going into halftime.
Yeah.
So before that, they were down. I think the score before that Hail Mary was like 7 to like 20 or something. Correct me.
23-7.
23-7. So then they got lucky with the Hail Mary, which put them pretty close. But I mean,
within a touchdown and a field goal.
Right. So, you know, luckily for them at the time, they got the Hail Mary, and then, you know, they couldn't finish it off coming back.
Yep. But Kyler Murray, still playing
good.
like a monster.
4 TDs, 229 yards in the air, and 7 carries for 6 yards.
So, yeah, and I'm honestly ready to say that Cardinals, they definitely, I mean, if they weren't for real before this, they are definitely for real.
Yeah, they just have a good team all around. And
they really do.
Ooh, I forgot. And then they also brought in Zach Ertz.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's right. This fool sniped him from me in fantasy because, I mean, we won't talk about that right now.
Not yet. But, yeah, so they brought in Zach Ertz. Obviously, he's not the player that he was a couple years ago, but he's still a quality tight end. And
they've got a lot of quality players.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
their whole squad, and plus they're healthy right now.
Yeah,
they're healthy, and that's a big deal.
So like whenever freaking Ertz was with the Eagles, like they weren't really using him a whole lot. I know like they were using Goddard a whole lot, Dallas, and you know they kind of just forgot about Ertz. However, Ertz did have a pretty decent game this last Thursday night game last week.
Yeah.
It was a pretty decent game, but I'm excited to see him in this offense, man. I think Kyler Murray's definitely going to be looking his way, and they got a bunch of offensive firepower on that offense, so they're going to be zoning in on like Hopkins and Green and Christian Kirk and all them, so it'll leave room for Ertz.
Kyler, he just has a bevy of weapons now, which it's almost kind of unfair if you think about it. Yeah. But hey, shout out to them for putting together this contender. I mean, I already thought before the season that they were going to be really solid and everything, and a lot of it rests on Kyler Murray, and he's having an MVP type season so far. Another person who's having an MVP type season is Mr. Dak Prescott. The Cowboys ended up winning in OT, and I'll tell you what, man, everybody likes to hate on the Cowboys. Everybody likes to hate on them. They are looking really good.
They are.
They're looking nasty. They're looking absolutely nasty. Dak played really well. It feels like they're actually starting to focus more on him, make him the focal point of the offense. And they're not necessarily phasing out Zeke, but making him kind of taking the back seat to Dak, which is what needs to be done.
Right.
Because Dak is a better quarterback than Zeke is a running back.
Right.
And Tony Pollard, he's fantastic too. But those weapons that they got in that passing game. Oh my God, man.
Yeah, man. Like the running backs, the receivers, and Dak Prescott, they're all playing really well. They're all clicking, and kind of like to hit on what you said. So like, if you rewind, a few years ago, like that offense ran through Zeke.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody knew Zeke was gonna get the ball, and no disrespect to Zeke, but Zeke's not Derrick Henry, so you can stop Zeke. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can stop him. So teams knew, the Dallas Cowboys are coming in. Zeke's gonna get the ball, so we're stopping the run. So that's what they were focusing on. But now they're playing great football, like all around. They can pass the ball, they can run the ball, not only with Zeke but with Pollard, and then they got freaking weapons on the outside. They got they got weapons on the slot. They got weapons at tight end. They got freaking weapons all over the damn place. So shout out to the Cowboys, man. They're playing really good. Definitely a contender team.
100%. And their defense is actually playing really well too.
Right.
Like their defense is getting after the quarterback. What's his name? Trayvon Diggs. Dude, that guy. Although it is really, really, really funny that he gets that pick six, I believe. And then all of a sudden turns around and gets burnt.
For 75 yards.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I remember us texting during that game, and I was just like, oh, man, this is nasty. And then all of a sudden, it just turned around. But
yeah. Hey, but shout out to Mac Jones, man. Enough of this Cowboys talk. Shout out to
What
Mac
is this,
Jones.
Cowboys talk?
Shout out to Mac Jones, man. He's playing great, man. Definitely, in my opinion, one of the front runners for Offensive Rookie of the Year alongside Jamar Chase currently. But man, he's playing really well, man. I think he is like close to having like the best rookie percentage of all time. I think Dak Prescott currently holds it like at, I want to say 69 or 70%, something like that. And
wow,
Mac Jones is currently like at 73%.
That's impressive.
But yeah, man, he's playing lights out. He's definitely exceeded the expectations I had of him. And then that offense it's starting to click.
It really is.
Hunter Henry starting to play that tight end 1 role with Juanu Smith kind of taking a backseat to tight end 2. He hasn't really done much.
Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers is looking really good, really consistent.
I was about to say that was one of the things that I texted Jose about. Was I was like, yo, Myers is looking good.
Yep.
Like he's looking really good. The Patriots, they always usually have a really good defense, and because Belichick can always key in and take away mostly the best parts of the opposing offense, and so because of that, I mean, as soon as they get their offense together, which it looked like they were starting to do, man, the Patriots, even if they don't succeed this year, then moving forward, they got the building blocks to be great once again.
Yeah,
which is awesome. I mean, because one of the biggest things that I like, and I'm sure that you will echo these sentiments, is that like I don't want there to be just like, I want there to be parity in the NFL. I want there to be balance. I don't want a team that's just going to beat the brakes off of everybody in the NFL. I mean, granted, it might not be too bad in the Super Bowl, like beating the brakes off of somebody, but for the most part, I like to see it because I like to see good games every week.
Yeah.
And so that's part of the reason why I like seeing teams continuing to get better, with the exception of, those poor Lions. Man, they are so
well, shit. Even
bad.
The Jags, I can't. What year was it? It was like, I think we talked about this in a different episode, but like they made it to like the AFC Championship game. I think it was like 2017 maybe, when Blake Bortles was still there and Jalen Ramsey was still on that defense. I was like the last time that they were actually good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And that was just briefly. And so, yeah. But yeah, shout out to the Cowboys there. You guys are playing great. Patriots are still getting up there. They're finding their groove and everything, which is awesome. Now, I'm super excited. I'm super excited right now. Do you know why I'm super excited? Because, I mean, I'm repping my boys. So the world gave us no chance on Monday night.
Whoa. I told you it was going to be a good one.
Now, I will say that
I knew it was going to be a close one.
Several people told me, they were like, the Bills are going to beat the brakes off of the Titans.
I was like, you can't contain Derrick Henry. Like, it's going to be a good game.
I thought it was going to be a good game as long as we could get some pressure on Josh Allen and everything. But that game was incredible. And I even told several people that, like, win or lose, it was still an amazing game. And that's what I was hoping for. But yeah, Titans, my goodness. So kind of like what you touched on, we lose to the Jets, and then we beat the arguably one of the hottest teams in the NFL the next week and everything. So, and obviously, shout out to Derrick Henry, man. That dude is on a historic pace right now. He has been rushing like crazy. I was talking to Josie over here about it a couple nights ago, and I think that Derrick Henry is on pace to be. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that he is there yet, but I think that with another, like, if he gets another 2,000 yards this year, I think that we'll have to seriously start having at least a conversation about putting him in the Hall.
Yeah,
because he's just been nasty so far this year. I mean, there's not much else you can say about it. It's just that he's otherworldly. And I saw a stat that I guess on the 76-yard TD run that he had against the Bills, that was actually the fastest that any runner has been this season so far. He got up to like 21 miles an hour.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Which is nuts because, for one, he's 6'5", 245 pounds or something like that. Mm. So, I mean, honestly, he shouldn't be able to do that, but he is just a freak of nature. But also, he's coming off of a 2,000-yard rushing season. Everybody knows that the Titans are going to be running the ball, right? So we already run the ball a lot with him. And so it's one of those things where it's like, how in the world are you still able to be that fresh and everything? So it's going to be interesting. But shout out to the Titans, man. You guys made me proud last night. We're recording this on Tuesday, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was a good game, man. Derrick, I was so pissed off because in one of my leagues, I was going against Derrick Henry, and I was going into that game. I was down 4 points in a PPR league, and I had Dawson Knox going and Stephon Diggs going. Stephon Diggs did good. I think he finished, I want to say, around like 20, 24 points, something like that. And then Knox, he finished with like 7.5 points, and I think he was out, I think like mid-third quarter, so he didn't really do much. But yeah, freaking Derrick Henry, he had 3 touchdowns, 143 yards. Yep. Freaking killed me in fantasy, man. I was so close to winning. Because I started the season off 0-3, and now I'm currently, I'm now 2-4, but I would have been 3-3 if I won. So I'm like trying to get up there again, But yeah, shout out Derrick Henry, man.
Yeah, and honestly, the Bills are still a fantastic, great team.
Oh yeah,
and Josh Allen's playing still out of his mind. It came down literally to pretty much the last play of the game. Yeah. So shout out to the Titans for doing a great job. So moving forward, let's get into a little bit of college football.
Let's get it.
So just as a little reminder, guys, there are so many teams in college football that sometimes it's kind of hard for us to keep track of everything going on.
Right. And usually with college football, I usually just try to like keep up with like the home teams. So like I know I have a lot of listeners that are like OU fans, OSU fans, and obviously I'm a Texas fan, and I have a couple of people that are Texas fans that also follow us. So I try to keep up with like the hotter teams and teams that are kind of like relevant. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So to start off, let's start off with the Oklahoma State-Texas game, man. I was watching that. I was really excited because I thought Texas was going to win. Of course, they freaking started off the game pretty good. They had, they were winning. First quarter, it was 10-3. Second quarter, OSU started playing a little bit better. Mm-hmm. They scored 10 points to Texas 7 points. And then, eventually OSU ended up winning, but it was just a nasty game, man. Casey Thompson did not play very well. He had 2 interceptions. Oof. Only had 179 yards passing.
Golly.
But Bijan Robinson's doing Bijan Robinson things.
What was the stat line for that
21
game?
Carries for 135 yards and 2 touchdowns rushing. And then he had 3 receptions for 38 yards and 1 touchdown. So 3 total touchdowns.
Not bad.
And then Xavier Worthy, the true freshman, had 5 receptions for 28 yards. So he didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah.
But, Texas, man, I think that's it for them this season. They'll be lucky to make it to a bowl game. I think they will. But as far as like Big 12 title, they're out of it, man.
Yeah.
OSU, I'm happy for them. The OU OSU game this year is going to be lit.
Oh,
because I
yes.
think if I'm correct, OSU is ranked, I think number 8.
Yeah, they're in the top 10.
I could be wrong. They're in the top 10 for sure. OU is ranked number 3, if I'm correct.
Correct.
So that's going to be a fun game to watch if they both stay undefeated. Even regardless, if they don't stay undefeated,
it's still going to be a really good game.
So, I was hoping, because if Texas won this game, they would have probably met OU in the Big 12 championship game again. But with the loss, that's not going to happen.
That is nuts. And what's kind of crazy about it is I don't know if you remember me talking about it, but I have a lot of friends on social media who are also OSU fans and everything. Same thing this week again. Guys, the sky is not falling. Please stop making it seem like your team is garbage.
You could be a Texas fan.
Like, it's just so strange to me because, like, literally every week I see the same stuff all the time. Like, oh my gosh, we're going to lose so bad. And then I go and look and I'm like, you guys are still undefeated. You guys got to get out of that funk, guys. Got to get out of that funk. But yeah, so shout out to OSU, man. It's kind of crazy because I can't remember a time whenever both OU and OSU were in the top 10.
I can't either.
So
I mean, it might have been recent. Like I said, I don't really. I can't remember, man. So much stuff goes on daily, but I mean, it could have been recent. I just really don't remember.
Yeah, that's nutty. Who did OU play?
They played TCU.
They
beat TCU 52-31. Caleb Williams with the start over Spencer Rattler.
That dude, he is nuts.
295 passing yards, 4 TDs. And then you got Kennedy Brooks with 20 carries, 150 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown. And then Caleb Williams and Eric Gray as well with rushing touchdowns. And then freaking Marvin Mims, he was kind of quiet. He had 2 receptions for 56 yards, no TDs. Michael Woods was the one that had the most reception yards with 75, and then you got Hasselwood that had 6 receptions, 56 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Jeez, yeah, I definitely I saw after, I believe it was after the game, a bunch of people tweeting about how well Williams was playing.
Yeah,
and apparently a lot of people are saying that there's a good chance that. By like midseason, I don't even know when midseason would be, but I
would say right now. It's week 7. I think there's only like 5 more games.
Yeah, and they're already talking about him possibly being a Heisman candidate.
No, whoever's saying that doesn't know football. You can't put anybody in hat. I mean, I get it. Like, trust me, I get it. Caleb Williams winning. He freaking beat Texas. Yeah, I get it. Credit to the guy.
He's playing really,
you can't
really
put him
well.
In a Heisman candidate conversation with 2 games. You know?
No, I agree with that.
You can't do that.
I will say though that he has been absolutely nasty.
Yeah,
absolutely nasty.
And like I said, respect to Caleb Williams, hell of a player, true freshman if I'm correct.
And I think a lot of it too is just everybody getting excited to see actual good quarterback play over there at OU. Sorry, Rattler, but yeah, you ain't it right now,
or ever,
or ever. No, we shouldn't be that mean to him. But anyway, so with that being said, I think we're also going to talk a little bit about Georgia. I mean, Georgia's doing Georgia things.
Yeah, Georgia beat the brakes off of Kentucky, but 30-13. I would say it's pretty good beatdown.
I would say that would be a pretty good beatdown. That defense was. I actually got to watch that game, and that defense was. That they fly around the ball.
Yeah, man, they're playing really well. That defense is pretty much the talk of the whole Georgia football team.
Very nice, very nice. So anyway. Moving on, it's actually kind of funny. So before we got on here, we were sitting there. We were like, all right, so we're gonna do a week 7 preview in the NFL, and we were getting really excited about it, all the way up until we finally looked and checked to see what was going to go on, and to our dismay, we were a little, I wouldn't say upset, but it was a little surprising considering the fact that. We were going to talk about all the good games that were about to happen and everything, all the great matchups. There's like 2. There's like 2 this week. On paper, this looks like a throwaway week. kind of. And part of the reason why is because correct me if I'm wrong, but the Bills, the Cowboys, the Vikings, Steelers, Chargers, and Jags are all on bye weeks this week. So shout out to him for getting some rest and everything. I think that actually, for the most part, all those teams except for maybe the Steelers and maybe the Chargers, all those teams are actually pretty healthy right now.
Yeah.
And so they don't really necessarily need the bye week. But you know what? It still kind of makes me upset because that means that they are robbing us of better football.
Of great football.
Great football this week. But we'll still talk about those games that are going to be going on. And the two premier matchups that we saw, first one, Chiefs versus Titans.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game, and it's a 12 p.m. game?
Yes, thank God.
Game. That's going to be a good game, and I was telling Sauce over here, dude, Derrick Henry's going to run all over that damn defense.
I hope so.
I'm estimating another 200-yard freaking game with 3 touchdowns again.
I sure do hope so, because I'm actually currently in the process of I'm rooting for Derrick Henry to I would like to see him get another 2,000-yard rushing season. And part of it just because he's such a good dude. He's a okay.
This guy has the audacity to say that.
So, okay, maybe not in person whenever you meet him, but
just behind camera.
Yeah, that's right. Behind the camera, he's a great dude. But no, it I didn't even think about that.
I'm like,
that's so funny. If looks could kill, but I really do. I would like to actually see him be in the MVP consideration.
No, and actually I was gonna say that earlier when we were talking about the Titans
Bills.
The Titans Bills again. I was gonna say that, dude. When do we start having Derrick Henry in the MVP conversation?
I think if the Titans beat the Chiefs and
you know what?
And if the Titans feature Derrick Henry, which obviously they're going to, so if Derrick Henry has a really good game against the Chiefs, I think that's whenever people are going to start talking about it.
I think.
Therefore, you are.
Huh? I think. What am I trying to say? I don't know if you think they would give the MVP to like a running back instead of a quarterback.
I think that the only way that they would is if he was on pace to get another 2,000 yards, and if he was on pace for. I honestly think that it's going to take another 2,000-yard season, and creeping up on that rushing touchdown record.
You know what it is?
I meant to look it up when we were talking about it last night. It's either 27 or 28.
I had 26 in my head.
26. You know, we could always just ask Siri. Or you can Google.
Google and keep the guest occupied.
All right. But yeah, so I personally think that if Derrick Henry gets to that point, and I think that he's actually on pace right now for I think they were saying he was on pace for like 2,300 rush yards and 30 touchdowns. Because right now he's currently got 783 yards and 10 touchdowns.
Okay, so it's 28 in 2006 by Tomlinson.
Okay, so here's hoping. I think that he would have to get close to that in order to be able to. Because I think that Adrian Peterson's his MVP season, he rushed for 2,000 yards, right?
Man, I don't know.
I can't remember, honestly. But yeah, and so I'm really kind of hoping. Now, I hope that the Chiefs are playing well, because I really want it to be a good game.
Well, here's the deal too, though. I honestly feel like the Chiefs are, because I don't feel like the Chiefs are going to be. I don't think they're going to continue to play the way that they have been playing. They're going to turn on the Jets eventually. I don't know when that's going to be, but it could be this game. So Patrick Mahomes can turn into Patrick Mahomes against the Titans and freaking throw for 400 plus yards and freaking 5 touchdowns.
Whoa! Let's not go too crazy on that.
I mean, I'm just saying, like,
I know,
you know what I mean. Like, it's the Chiefs. It's Patrick Mahomes. Like, he hasn't played like Patrick Mahomes all damn year, kinda. Like he's been like hit or miss, like kind of rusty, because he's been throwing a lot of interceptions as well.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, the Titans' defense is not all that great with all those injuries, especially. So I feel like they might have a field day. Patrick Mahomes might have a field day throwing the ball around.
Yeah,
you know. What I mean?
I personally think so too.
And that's the thing too, though. Like, if the Chiefs are over here having a field day throwing the ball around, you know, keeping it a high scoring game, I mean, you kind of just gotta sling it back.
Yeah, but on the bright side too is that
And my computer died, by the way.
Vrabel is very he's very adamant about using Henry, and I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, you've got this battering ram that has 4.4 speed and everything, so I don't blame him. But I mean, they've been incorporating him more into the pass game and everything. So regardless, I'm just hoping it's a good game. But the last game that we think that is going to be a very good game, Bengals Ravens. We're gonna see how well Joe Burrow goes against that.
Do you by chance
Ravens
know
defense.
who the home team is? I always take that into consideration.
On the ESPN app, is it? I think it's the Ravens.
The Ravens?
I think it's the Ravens.
Man, shout out to the Ravens. I know I already said that before, but dude, they're playing great. I saw a stat the other day. It was like Lamar Jackson has the most wins by any quarterback ever. He has the most wins before the age of 25.
25, yep.
And I think it's 35 wins. So shout out to him, man. I remember when they drafted him, everybody was talking shit. Like, oh, he's not a quarterback. Oh, he's a running back. Or, this and that. Even like
me
Carter,
included.
No disrespect to Carter. I love you, pal. But he was like, oh, I don't like that pick. I don't like Lamar. And I don't know why, but I've always liked Lamar, man. Like, I followed him in college when he played for Louisville. And I've always been a fan of his. And when everybody doubted him, I was always there saying, man, I don't know, man. I like him. Like, yeah. He's a good quarterback, and the stats, provide it. Oh, and I thought of something at work the other day. So, damn, what was it? I already forgot. No, because here's the deal. Because everybody trashes Lamar Jackson for being a run-heavy quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. But that's because we live in a society that runs mostly through, or they prefer a pass-heavy quarterback. Mm-hmm. But what if it was the other way around? What if there was a ton of running backs that was run-heavy first, and it was very rare to find a pass-heavy first quarterback?
Ooh, like an alternate reality?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, the only reason people don't like Lamar Jackson is for that reason, because he runs the ball so damn much. But, like, what if the NFL started backwards and, like, the norm was run first, pass second?
Well, it's actually getting to the point now where, I mean...
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does, for sure.
I had it mapped out in my head a whole lot better when I was thinking about it yesterday. I was like, dude, I can't wait to talk about this. And I kind of brain farted. I kind of forgot how...
Then again, though, look at the current state of the NFL. A lot of these teams are going for these dual threat quarterbacks. Because, I mean... And a lot of people are basically wanting... Because, I mean, look at the top quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Kyler Murray, Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not. He's mostly but he manipulates the pocket really well. Russell Wilson's also a top quarterback.
The thing about him too is he makes people better around him. You know what I'm saying? But anyways.
But yeah, so the trend in the NFL is going toward more dual threat / just running quarterbacks and everything, which I don't have any problem with it. I don't really have a problem with Lamar. I think my issue is whenever people, I guess the best word is overrate his passing ability. Because I think he's an okay passer. I think he needs to improve as a passer. He's a dynamic runner. I love watching him play because... Hold on.
I'm having flashbacks to my thought. But this is where I was going. So, why do quarterbacks have to become better passers, and why not? Why do they not need to become better runners? Like, whenever someone's a great passer, why? And like, for example, I'm gonna go back to Tom Brady, but let me not go back to Tom Brady because he's a phenomenal player. Like someone that can throw the ball but they can't run worth the shit. You know what I'm saying? So why are we here? Quarterback. Why are we here criticizing somebody that can't throw the ball a whole lot, but not criticizing somebody that can run the ball? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you win the game, you win the game.
Yeah, honestly,
you know what I mean?
That's what it boils down to.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to.
Because I was like, people sit here and talk shit about quarterbacks that can't, like Lamar, like, oh, he can't throw the ball, he's not that accurate, whatever. Like, it's easy for people to say that about a quarterback that's going to run down their throat, but someone that can run it, nobody has ever shit to say about those quarterbacks, which I don't get.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's basically just kind of deciding how you want to win and how you want your offense to be schemed. And honestly, right now, the Ravens scheme is working. They're what, 4-1, 5-1?
5-1 if I'm correct.
5-1. Yeah. And so I just know that they have only one loss so far. So because of that, I mean, honestly, and I'm also just a firm believer of win however you can. I mean, the stats are mostly for us fantasy football nerds, you know?
But I mean, but you get what I'm saying though, right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like, I don't know. I was
don't
really
sit here and shit on him if he's still successful doing what he does.
Yeah, like if you get the win, you get the win. Like it doesn't matter if you get the win by running the ball or if you get the win by throwing the ball. If you win, you win.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
And you know how else you win? By checking out the First Round By podcast.
Oof, that's an automatic win.
That's an automatic win. Other than that, I think that's all we got for today. Do you have anything else for our lovely viewers?
No.
No. That was so spirited.
I was gonna say something, but I don't know. It's for one, I don't know who's out there watching or listening. For two,
yeah,
I don't want to make a fool out of myself.
We will probably continue that onto our next episode. So just make sure that you guys tune in. As always, we definitely appreciate the support. Appreciate everybody tuning in and everything.
Hold on. Something I forgot to mention.
Okay.
Something I forgot to mention. So, Patriots Cowboys game.
Mm-hmm.
So I forgot to mention on here. Like I thought it was complete bullshit. Because the Patriots, they had the ball going into halftime, and they had like over a minute left to play, right? And they freaking decided just to kneel the ball and let the clock run out. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't like that.
And they had like a timeout left, and I think they were like on the 40-yard line. I mean, they were still like 30 yards away from the field goal range, but still, I mean, you have a minute left. You have Mac Jones that has 72% completion rate. You have receivers that are catching the ball. Like, just try to get some points on the board, right?
Right.
And then to freaking, when they go to the overtime, like, it's 4th and 3, right? Mm-hmm. Like, why the hell would you why would you punt it? Like, go for the freaking first down.
Especially with how hot the Cowboys offense
exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, why give the ball back to the Cowboys who are playing, like, great? Because if I remember correctly, I think the Cowboys had, I want to say, if not over 500 yards total offense compared to the Patriots, like over 200. You know what I'm saying? So why give the ball back to them when you can just say, screw it, we're probably going to lose if we give the ball back to the Cowboys. Like, go for the freaking first down,
right?
And try to go from there. But I was really disappointed in that play call. But I kind of just had to say that because I remember.
No, I agree.
We were talking about it earlier, and I forgot to mention it earlier, so I just mentioned it now. But I was just really disappointed in that play call. And yeah.
I mean, I felt the same way. There are multiple times throughout on Sundays and Mondays and sometimes Thursdays that I question the play calling. But then again, though, I also try to put myself in that position too, and I'm like, what would I have done? Would I still have made that same decision?
No, I mean,
because it's really easy to make those decisions whenever we're sitting at home watching the game and everything.
And another thing that we forgot to mention is how the hell are you gonna freaking try to go for it when you're the Bills? When you know what I'm saying, kick the field goal and go to overtime.
See, and I honestly I understood the thought behind it because Josh Allen's been playing out of his mind lately. And so obviously you want to give it to whoever your best player is. But in that particular situation, I would have probably gone ahead and kicked the field goal and then taken my chances in overtime because neither one of those teams was stopping the other offense.
Yeah.
So I personally am glad that we ended up stopping them though.
Well, I mean, yeah,
obviously.
But as a fan of the game, I was like, why the hell would you not just go for a field goal and go to overtime? You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead of just like, I don't know, just putting the game on the line. Like,
oh yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was a stupid play call, and I was just really disappointed in that. But it is what it is.
That is very true. Yeah, I mean, I several times throughout all these games and stuff, there are moments where I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, what in the world? Now, obviously, since I'm a Titans fan, then I was okay with that call.
Yeah.
Especially since we have big old Jeff Simmons who stopped Josh Allen. So, shout out to the Titans defense for actually pulling out a dub for us. So, but with that being said, catch you guys in the next one. Check out firstroundby.com, and yeah, we appreciate the support.
Peace.